to a new episode of Bleeding Orange and Blue. I just want to thank you for listening in as we recap Illinois' 11th straight victory with a win over Nebraska 78-69, leading the Illini at 19-3 record and 10-1 in the Big Ten. With obvious Big Ten title implications on the line, the Illini stepped up with a great second half after going into halftime trailing by 6. The first half, Nebraska made more threes than Illinois did all game, hitting 11 first half threes while keeping freshman star guard Keaton Wagler to just 5 points. This Illinois team didn't falter like some may have in the past, though. Came out in the second half, tightening up their defense and only allowing Nebraska to hit 4 second half threes. The Illini also dominated on the boards in this game by a difference of 13, grabbing up 11 offensive boards against a Nebraska team that ranked 38th in KenPom on defensive rebounding efficiency coming into the game. Illinois stepped up their defensive intensity, and our stars shined. Keaton ended up having 23 of his 28 in the second half, while the Illini ended up outscoring Nebraska in the paint 28-18 after going point for point with us in their first game in that first loss against Nebraska 11 games ago. This was a great team win for the Illini, and offensively, starting with great passing and cuts that were made to break down this tricky trap defense of Nebraska. Now, while Keaton was the game's leading scorer, the person that kept us in it in the first half was Tomislav, not missing a single shot, leading Illinois with 10 points going into the break. Ended up with 12 for the game as Keaton did take over in that second half. Tommy ended up tied for lead in rebounds for the game as well with 8, but most importantly, he helped Rink Mask stay out of this one. Mask only scored 5 points, grabbed 4 rebounds, did have 5 assists in this one, but again, our defense stepped up in this one. Another play of halves in this one was Andrei Stojakovic. He looked pretty rough in that first half. No points, had a couple turnovers, and honestly was looking like we might not be able to put him back out there in the second half a little bit. But really stepped up that second half, grabbing 8 points. A lot to do with his cutting. Playing better defensively, but most importantly in this game, having a season high of 4 assists, which does match a career high he's hit twice before in his career. Now, we know it's way better to have Keaton handling that ball, making the decision making there, because a lot of times with Andre, that ball becomes a black hole with him, but not in this game. He did a great job at passing and breaking down that defense, especially in that second half, really showing exactly the type of player that he can be for this team, especially with this style of offense not being an ISO game. Now, we obviously seen him playing better defensively, but most importantly in this game, just dishing the ball when needed. Not only have we seen that improvement in this game and past games, we've even seen him hit 4 threes in a game. But just recently in this second half, making the right plays, passes, and cutting to get easy baskets. This is the Trey White style of role we had expected from Andre to fall into as the season has progressed. Of course, Keith Wagler's second half performance was fantastic, but we may be getting a little too spoiled with all of his Batman-like calmness as he displays his greatness each game, especially since Boswell's been out. Keaton ended up finishing with 28 points, 5 boards, 5 assists, all the while doing that in front of his old high school team who was in attendance today. Now, what does this mean for the Illini? Illinois is tied for number 1 in the Big Ten after beating 2 top 5 teams in the NCAA back-to-back weekends without their leader Kylan Boswell on the floor again out with that hand injury. Illinois is positioned to be a number 2 seed in the NCAA tournament with some wishful thinking of a potential being number 1. That is huge, especially with Boswell being out. I think it could happen the way this team is playing and gaining their speed and momentum without Boswell even on the floor. Now, again, we found out about Boswell. I thought to myself, if they can go 2 doing these big matchups with Michigan State to go before being very hopeful having Boswell return for that game against Michigan, we would still have a chance to compete for that Big Ten title. If lucky, get a 3 seed in the NCAA tournament. We've won two without Kylan. Jake Davis has stepped up. This team has stepped up and it's getting tougher. And we're showing great mental toughness, not changing that MO, being a great offensive team who goes to get rebounds, get to the line, and make shots. You've got Keaton being a star, Tommy back to doing some of the Tommy things he does. Even Big Z going in, grabbing rebounds, and of course blocking shots. Nick Davis hitting the shots we need him to make. Aside from this game, and Murkhouse hitting shots in these previous games as well as just being a spark on the defensive side and getting messy, trying to get into rebounds, making the effort plays. Now, ultimately, I think, and most importantly at this point, you're getting Andre in the swing of what can make him an immense threat for other teams come March. He has the ability to get 20 points without playing iso ball. He has the ability to draw defenses in and set his teammates up. He can defend and rebound. Now we just got to keep him doing those things at the level that matches his talent, and this team could blow the roof off of it all when Kylan comes back. Now, I don't think there's going to be many bumps along the road when Kylan does come back. There always is that potential. We saw things happen with Terrence when he came back. And sometimes it takes the guys a few games to get in the flow of things with each other again. But I don't foresee that with Kylan. Kylan's going to come in and play team ball. He's going to play hard on defense. Probably is going to avoid taking some shots here and there, just depending upon how that hand feels, because it was his shooting hand that he injured there. Ultimately, this team has all the makeup to just go win. Do the thing that we've wanted so many Illini teams to do, that had the potential to do, whether it be that 21 team, whether it be Terrence Shannon and Coleman Hawkins team just a few years ago in that Elite Eight. This team is deep, even though we're only playing a 7-man rotation with Boswell out. We can play tall, we can shoot, we can pass, and most importantly, we can play as a team. Now that's something that I don't think a lot of other teams out there have that going for them. They've got a 2, 3 superstars, maybe a couple guys that know their roles. But I think this whole team has understood their role. I think that showed in this game, and I think Illinois has the possibility to do some great things. I definitely look forward to seeing what comes next in our upcoming games, and definitely want to hear from you guys. Leave a comment, reach out via email at bleedorangeandbluepod@gmail.com. If you guys even want a chance at coming on and having a conversation, I'm open to doing that. So definitely reach out. Would look forward to talking with some other Illini fans who are in the know, who pay attention, and have a voice to come speak their thoughts on some upcoming games. Also, going to go ahead and do a little football coverage for the first time here as well. So look out for that pop incoming shortly here as well, with obviously some big rocket news that we got before this Illinois game yesterday with Aaron Henry out as defensive coordinator, quote unquote, maybe a soft firing there, where Henry ends up finding another position elsewhere, going to Notre Dame as their D-backs coach and co-defensive coordinator role. So he's actually taking a step down there. And not surprising here with him and Brett's relationship of him wanting to make him go out in good, looking positively and not having anything negative to throw on that resume. So we'll come at you with another pod here shortly, going ahead and covering reactions to that one, maybe some expectations and possible coach candidates. And then, of course, going to come at you with a preview with Illinois' next upcoming game here when we've got Northwestern at home. So we're going to have Northwestern in the house. Um, Never an easy one for us for whatever reason, even though Northwestern's not that great this year. But definitely look forward to covering that here on the next episode of Bleed Orange and Blue, Illini Fan Pod. Do want to thank you guys again. If you could just go ahead and like, subscribe, throw that notification bell on next time I have pod coming out here to you. Again, coming with football next time, and then going back with a preview for that Northwestern game. I want to thank you all again for your time, and as always, ILL.